The money multiplier is this idea that because banks only are required to hold a fraction on reserves, that this actually multiplies the amount of money that can be created in an economy because it allows for lines of credit to be done. So more credit means more money. So because banks don't keep 100% of reserves, there's a multiplying effect when they create lines of credit because they're loaning out a fraction of the reserves. So how much money can theoretically be created will be determined by the money multiplier. So the money multiplier, to figure it out, you take 1 divided by the reserve requirement. So if the Federal Reserve says banks have to keep 10% reserves, then 1 divided by 10%, remember 10% is actually 0.10, so 1 divided by 0.10 equals 10. That'll tell you that if you had a scenario of $100 worth of reserves, that can be multiplied by 10 and theoretically create up to $1,000 worth of money. So part of this comes into play that if the central bank wanted to increase the money supply by $1,000, it doesn't have to print $1,000 worth of new money and have that come into circulation, right? It just has to, in this case, increase money supply by $100. If it increases money supply by $100, then with a money multiplier of 10, that can then create $100 worth of money. So this is because of the fractional reserve system that there is a money multiplier effect. One last note, if the reserve ratio is higher, like 20%, then the multiplier falls. So the higher the reserve ratio, reserve requirement, the fewer loans that can be given, and then the smaller the multiplier effect.